Yes. Is it a very good result today for Lyon when we see the second half?
Well, it was an advantage. So we have an advantage going to Lyon. Second half for 22 minutes, Arsenal gave us a lot of difficulty and had probably two very, very good chances. But I'm not sure there are many people that come to this iconic stadium against the big team, a very good team with 40,000 people, and expecting not to suffer a little bit. We suffered, and in the end, it balanced itself out.
Hi, Joe. I think like most teams, good teams even leave spaces somewhere, and I think if you watch Arsenal a lot, the left back space is a space they kind of leave quite a bit. Was that something you targeted in the first half, or am I overthinking it? When you have a player like Diani, things are just going to happen on that side.
Tim, your tactical awareness always seems to surprise me because we knew Katie McCabe would be probably one that would advance a little bit more, and we left. You know me well, though. You know my little bits and pieces. Look, I told Kadi to stay a little bit higher in the situation, and then we saw after about 16, 17 minutes that Katie wasn't going forward, and that's where we found a lot more space in midfield. Look, with a team like Arsenal that they create a lot of overloads, especially in wide areas, we have to make sure that there's a little bit of patience, and you've got to give them the ball a little bit, and then sort of look at the second phase as closing spaces and then go. So that was a little bit of the game plan. And it's not going to be the game plan next week, so don't tell Renee.
Hi, Joe. Well done on your win today. Obviously, your side showed a very strong performance against Arsenal, but how does it feel to be back at the Emirates and back at your old club?
I had 4 wonderful years here and made a lot of friends, and it's an iconic club. It was. I had to keep it professional. But I'm just astounded at 40,000 people at the Emirates. A beautiful game of football, a spectacle. That's what I'm so pleased about. I'm so pleased that since I left, that there's been 3-4 years of just amazing growth, and that to me gives me pleasure to see this iconic club at the top level, competing for trophies, competing for the best, and playing the brand of football in front of 40,000 people.
Hi, Joe.
You feel shaved.
Hope you're doing well. And I was just going to ask, going off the quarterfinals and just your coaching in general, it doesn't strike me that you'd kind of go into the second leg just looking to hold onto the lead. I know you said to Tim you won't set up the exact same way, but I guess it would be fair to assume you'd still go to win the game.
We have to win the game. And for people that know me, I'm a little bit expansive at times too. I want to have the ball a lot. Again, it's going to be at this level when it's knockout, when there's a lot of emotion involved, when there's sometimes tactics thrown out the window because it is emotional. There's a lot of players focusing for 95 minutes is not easy. It's not easy keeping your shape, keeping your space. So I think at this level, it's managing those moments of madness. I mean, there was a lot of discussion yesterday, especially from the French media, about Lyon, Manchester United the other night. I mean, I didn't see tactics there. I just saw two teams just going at it, punch for punch, and just was thrown out the window. It was just emotion. And that's what this team, Lyon, has the ability to do. They can contain the emotion when things get a little bit out of whack, and that's the important thing.
Just on that, I guess for you personally, has that helped your coaching develop as well? Because I guess Lyon as an institution are used to being at this stage, and I don't think many other clubs are. So how has that kind of helped you develop as a coach?
A lot. Probably more on the leadership areas, more on the ability to understand big personalities and managing those persons. So my leadership is definitely, I think developed for good. But remember, I was 3 years at Juventus, and it was a different beast altogether. Where we'd come as the team that was 33rd in Europe to sort of compete at the top level, and that was a different sort of scenario. So all the experiences I've been fortunate enough to have given me little snippets of what to use to develop as a leader.
What you were saying from there, does it take a while for teams to build up that experience to succeed in European competition? To knock on the door?
Experience.
Subs have got
Yeah.
a competitive league, but they haven't done so yet.
Playing these games, I'm sure now Renee has experience in understanding a team that is at the top, dominating for 20 minutes, not scoring, then the game gets out of hand a little bit. So it's just experience. I don't want to say I've seen it all before, but I've seen these moments. All those I won't say it in Australian. Those finals against Chelsea that we lost in the Conti Cup and the FA Cup, all the bloody games they'd get away from me, and I couldn't work it out. I learnt now. I learnt those little bits and pieces, what to not worry about, what to not get emotional about, and what to grow. And that obviously festers in your players too. Your players get to understand those moments too. It's the experience of moments. It's the experience.
And with that experience, I mean, there's a lot of noise back in Australia about you possibly being next Matilda's coach. Is it easier to block all that out while you're focusing on this?
Is it? I'm looking at Matilda's coach. I have a semi-final next week. We have a game against Nantes during the week, which we want to use it to our advantage to make sure that we keep winning. And then we look at a semi-final now. The rumours are just rumours, and I'll leave the rumours to you guys because I know it's nice press.
Hi Joe, can I ask about your first goal today? Because it felt like Arsenal pressed quite aggressively for it, but you kind of were able to play around the press, at least made it look pretty easily. How impressive was the build up for that first goal?
Well, it's probably one thing that I've kept as a coach. We do try to construct in the thirds. We do try to find the solutions in the thirds, and sometimes that solution is going direct with a direct pass. Look, we just felt that if we broke the first press of Arsenal and overloaded certain areas, we could get our wide players involved more centrally, not so much wide, because the fullbacks would have had to push on to our fullbacks. So yeah, we found the solution in the first goal. I like the second goal too. It was not a bad goal.
It was pretty good as well. And in your opinion, was Caitlin Ford lucky not to receive a second yellow card today?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what you're referring to because I can't remember. Can't remember. But look, as I said, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of little bits and pieces, and the referees. I think had a really tough job today. And I think they did quite well.
Joe, why did you choose Alice Sombatz against Tarsian? What do you think of her match?
I really like Alice. She's a very, very good professional, and I just felt for the defensive balance, for the knowledge that she has with Vanessa Gilles, and also with Selma Bachar. I felt that there was just more balance in what we were looking at. Tarsian probably needs a little bit more time just to understand the defensive concepts. So we felt that in this game we go with a little bit more security than probably a little bit of the unknown.
Hi Joe, I just wanted to ask you, your team generally throughout this competition has got one of the best defensive records. How did you feel about the defensive display here, and also what will your message be to them in terms of, we've seen how Arsenal keep fighting back every time they come up against kind of deficit in this contest, so what will your message be to them?
Oh, look, I mean, you have to in these competitions have good defensive balance. You have to have good defensive scenarios, but we use a lot of the defensive balance to attack because we know we can find the spaces going forward quickly. So if we defend well, we know we'll be able to control the moment and we'll be able to attack. So So a lot of work has been done in yes, good defensive balance, but also the ability to find space going forward too. It's not just about defending and you defend and then it's over. So it works both ways from that perspective. Yeah, look, Arsenal, you're talking about Arsenal fighting back, about the ability. Yeah, look, I mean, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. This thing's not over. And as I said, when a team, probably, maybe the pressure's been taken off Arsenal. Maybe, now they're 2-1 down. They're coming to Lyon. Whatever happens, happens. That's a dangerous scenario. And they're a good team.
Yeah, Joe, I wonder what it's like having Michelle Kang as the owner. So I noticed she came on to the pitch at the end, which is, for us, kind of unusual. You don't normally see that happening. So I wonder what she's been like as an owner for you.
Oh, look, I think there's been a lot written and a lot said about Michelle, and a lot of it's so positive and so fantastic. She's really, really there for the women's game, for the growth of the women's game as women's sport, and what we do every day is to really develop that in terms of training for female athletes. A lot of the sports science and the background that we do in terms of the study, research and development into female athletes is amazing, and even on the wellness and the psychological part. And that's what I love about her. She's there. She's really genuinely there for us to develop as a sport. Yeah, she's hands-on. She loves coming and watching the games and seeing part of what we do. But here she's been absolutely fantastic for us.
And the second question was just a quick one about how you think the French league, which still isn't rising maybe as quickly as over here, in terms of crowds and everything like that, and stadia maybe. And I wonder how you think that could actually be fired up maybe.
I'm not an expert in how we can develop commercially and from a marketing perspective. I think one of the big advantages of the French league is that there's and France in general in football, both male and female, is an exporter and a developer of talent. So I think one of the really exciting things that I've seen is there's a lot of young talent that are being given opportunities in D1. A lot of clubs rely on that because they obviously don't have the resources and the means. So you're getting players that are 18, 19, 20 that have already played 30, 40, 50 games in D1, by the time they're 20. I think that's an advantage. It's probably a direction they need to take. But from the marketing side, to bring crowds like these scenarios, it's probably something I'm not sure what to do. Always the image of the game seems to be the one that I go back to. How does it look on television? How is it presented? How is it sold? I think, and like I've always said, the football has to be the winner. If the football's of high quality and the performances of high quality and there's a spectacle and good theatre, people will come and watch.
Did they get them to bring their dogs along last week or something, Zoe?
Yeah, we have a major sponsor who is very important to us that's come up with this idea of bringing the dogs along to the stadium. We got a bigger crowd, no? Because there was 90 dogs, so it was 4,090 or 5,090 or something like that. Look, they're initiatives. I think there's a couple of really simple things in terms of scheduling the time that you schedule games. We play a lot of games at 9 o'clock at night. On a Sunday night, it's pretty hard for a family to come and watch a game. So there are some little things, but I don't want to get into the politics of all that because it's not my forte.
Hi, Joe. Are you expecting Wendy Renard to be fully fit for the next leg?
Yeah, look, we'll monitor Wendy this week and see how she goes. We had to err on the safe. I think it was probably too much of a risk today to take. But I feel that that there's been a lot of development over the last couple of days, which has been fantastic. And we'll assess it. And I'll be honest. I hope so. Yeah.
Hi, Joe. Ed Hegerberg comes off the bench obviously just after Arsenal Moustaron scored that penalty. I mean, having a player of her experience, the involvement for the second goal, I think she drags Leah Williamson kind of out of position, which creates that space for Melchi to obviously run into. I mean, to have a player of her experience to be able to come off the bench and make a difference in that moment, it feels a little bit like a luxury, I guess.
Yeah, It's one of the luxuries I've got at Lyon, because we can change the moments of the game, we can change the situation of the game with the quality of talent that we're able to manage. Like I always say, you know, these games are not about the starting 11. The starting 11 give you a certain phase to go with, and then the game can take another direction, and you've got to change things. But I think the beauty of our squad is that we can manage the moments as they happen, and you know, you saw it with Arda. Arda was now stretched the line a little bit and allowed us to get out a little bit more, and you know, the second goal was all credit to some great interplay. But we're very lucky to be able to. I'm very lucky to be able to change the moments when I need to.
Hi Joe. Just a quick question on the intensity of the game, and obviously now you got a midweek game against FC Nantes. So will you have to rotate because the game like today, players are really tired, and so they can't really do another one like in 3 days, and then the second leg.
We'll definitely use it. We'll definitely use it to prepare players for the weekend. You know, some of the players who didn't get any minutes today, perfect. You know, we'll give them some time and get them ready for next Sunday's clash.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you guys again. All the best.